rise with the sun!
Let the mountain's veins boil! Let my name echo in song! Yup! Faster! Stronger! Start the
Pyroclastic surge!
Strike a pose! Control breathing! On my mark!
Let's ride! Light of the blazing sun!
Let the world collide! Bring it! Hear the echoes of the valley! Quick as a flash! Let's
Breath from the sky! Incinerate! Try and stop me!
We're finally at Genshin Impact version 5.5, and with that comes the release of Iansan, a character that I think everyone has been very excited for pretty much since she showed up in the Travail trailer about 4 years ago as the representative of Natlan. And what's really interesting about Iansan, aside from her being, by my estimation, one of almost the best written characters in the game, she's also, as far as I can tell, as C0 for the present moment, the second best attack buffer in the game. Because Iansan is actually an ult-based flat attack buffer with some healing. And that's really, really cool, because there's actually quite a lot of attack scaling characters in the game, and so we finally have a bit of competition when it comes to that attack buffing with the release of Iansan. And so as far as I can tell, at C0, Iansan is actually the second best flat attack buffer in the game. But who, of course, would be her main competition? It is, of course, a flat attack buffer who has existed for quite some time now in Genshin Impact. I am, of course, referring to the illustrious Kujou Sara. And so when you have a look at what Iansan at C0 can do for a lot of flat attackers like Arlecchino, for example, versus what, let's say, C6 Sara, or at the very least C5 Sara, can do for those flat attack, or rather those attack buffers, it does seem like at the present moment, even though Iansan does have one advantage over Sara, which is the ability to use the scroll set, it seems to me that when you use Sara with those attack buffers, you're still doing a little bit more damage, and you'll end up doing a lot more damage if they're Electro characters. We're going to talk about Electro characters a little bit later on, but in this video I just wanted to highlight how easy it actually ended up being for you to be able to use Iansan's buff, because you would think that after hearing about what Iansan's kit is all about from various other YouTubers, as well as the live stream and also the miscellany that basically describes the entire premise of Iansan's kit and how she is a fitness coach and therefore is trying to encourage you rather to move around a lot more. Even if you're playing a character like Arlecchino, who is traditionally not that mobile, it seems to me that so long as you don't fall behind at the start, it's actually relatively easy to maintain that Iansan buff and that Iansan buff meter so that you still have more than 42 Night Soul points so that you have the full power of Iansan's buff. And the way to do that is very simply just moving backwards and forwards a lot, because even that amount of movement of just moving backwards and then using Arlecchino, for example, normal attacks in order to track back onto the target that you are attacking, that pretty much keeps you at a roughly Night Soul neutral gameplay experience. So that is, of course, going to be really, really cool. So I suppose I was a little bit worried about this particular kind of interaction, but it seems to me that it's actually not as difficult as we thought. So that's really, really nice. Now, moving forward, right now I have a scroll set on Iansan, and I've actually gone ahead and pre-farmed this scroll set to the point where I'm running a healing hat, which of course does maximize Iansan's healing, but Iansan's healing is actually not that high, so this is really just a fun idea for me. It's not really something that you necessarily need to do. But even with a healing hat, I actually have more than enough attack to sustain Iansan's buff at its absolute maximum, especially if I manage to activate Iansan's constellations. And notice the word that I'm using, activate. It's because I actually already have all of Iansan's constellations ready to go, but right now what I want to do is I want to just showcase and discuss the limitations that C0 Iansan has with a few characters and archetypes that I particularly like. For example, Arlecchino, and then later on Chlorand, and then finally plunging characters. And then I will also activate some of these constellations and just talk about not necessarily the limitations anymore, but what kind of sort of gameplay augmentations, if you will, come from some of these constellations. Gastiel from the Discord has requested that I do a little bit of a deep dive on C2, so that will come around as well before we go straight into C6 and just start talking about all sorts of other crazy things that I think you can actually do with C6. So don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to like the video, because this is going to be the first in a series of videos talking about Iansan and how she's going to be the new meta, basically, especially for attack scaling characters, as it does seem like at the end of the day, even at C0, she is really, really useful in that she has a flat attack buff that does in fact last for quite a long time. So long as you can move around even just a bit, yeah, you're pretty much good to go in that regard. So let me know what all of this in the comments below. What kind of team are you using with your C0 Iansan? If you actually have C0 Iansan, let me know in the comments, as well as what kind of pyro team are you liking with her as well. Perhaps there are some team compositions that not that many people have talked about, and I haven't actually shown them yet, especially for pyro characters, that you are finding very interesting. Let me know in the comments. Otherwise, hope you guys enjoyed. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more Genshin Impact action, and until next time, I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Plastic surge!
Transfixed. Quick as a flash. On my busted. Here comes the catch.
Light of the blazing sun!
Overruled. This is where you fall. Late bear. Stronger. Let's quiet now. Things are about to get dicey.
Full throw!
Overruled. Quick as a flash. On my gotcha. Game's up. Fun's over.
Breath from the sky! Try and stop! Everlasting as the moon! Transfixed!